Hello! Today I'm going to show you how to crochet a teeny weeny flower. Yes, it's minuscule. So it has 6 petals. It's a small pattern and I crochet this with a 1.5 millimeter hook and cotton thread size 10. Now, if you're not familiar in crocheting with cotton thread, I recommend that you watch my video in the descriptions below, which is making a bookmark with cotton thread. I believe that video will help you to transition from thicker yarns to something super thin, because the feel of your yarn, of your thread on your hand is really different than when you're crocheting with yarn. So I recommend that if you want to try to do these tiny little things, that you make sure you do something a little bigger before, get used to handle the thread in your fingers, and then go from there. So I hope this video is helpful. Enjoy your flower, and if you make this, please show me a picture. My Facebook group is called Crochet with Angela, Isa, and Beyond. I would love to have you there so that you can share your pictures as well. Please subscribe to this channel. It's great to have you here, and I hope that my projects are exciting and something that you look forward to make yourself. So thank you so much for being here today. Take care. With a 1.5 millimeter crochet hook and cotton thread size 10, go ahead and chain 2. If you're not quite sure how to start a foundation chain, go ahead and watch my video on how to do a foundation chain. It will show you there how to do the initial knot and how I make my foundation chain from there. If you make the initial knot in a different way than I do, that should be fine. There's different ways of doing it. As long as you come up right now with 2 chains, you should be fine. There we go. I hold this here and pull the string. That forms a knot right there, nice and tight. And also my first chain right there. I need 2 chains, so here we go. 2 chains. Okay, very nice. So right now we're going to be working in circles. Okay, so we need to build several single crochets into the same spot right now. The spot you're looking at will be the first chain right here. You can also call it the second chain from the hook. This is the first one from the hook, and this one is the second chain from the hook. It just happened to be the first one in this chain here as well. So here is that stitch that I'm looking for, that first chain, and I'm going to be doing 6 single crochets in that same spot. That was 1, 2, and 3. Now you will notice that this knot here, the string, the initial string, and the knot, they are a little bit of a bother. So I try to kind of get them out of the way. So for that, I bring them towards the right, towards my right hand. Okay, I kind of tuck it in between my thumb and my middle finger, and then when I do my 5th single crochet, I try to crochet it into it, see, so that it gets out of my way. I said 5th, pardon me, this is my 4th single crochet. So it kind of keeps coming to the right here and it gets out of my way. Now this was number 5, and here is number 6. Wonderful. So we made a circle, 6 single crochets, and if you kind of turn it a little bit, you will clearly see the top loop and the back loop that each single crochet left behind. And it's upon those loops here that you will be building your petals on. And I call these loops simply the next stitch. All right. For us to finish this round here, we need to join the round. So go ahead and find that very first single crochet you did, and it's very obvious. It's right here. There's the front loop and there's the back loop. So pick both, yarn over, pull through, and pull through right away, and that was your slip stitch to finish up the round. So you got this cute, tiny, small little circle with a tiny circle in the middle. All right, very good. So from now on, we are going to be building the petals. And I mentioned this before, that we are going to be building the petals upon each single crochet that you just made. So remember, we did 6, so we're going to come up with 6 petals. Now, where is your next stitch? Your next stitch is the same one that you did the joining. So it's this one right here. And you're going to be following a pattern from now on that you will see on the screen. And it is single crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochets, chain 1, single crochet, all in the same stitch. Okay, so let's get started. Single crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochets, chain 1, and another single crochet. First petal made. Now let's go into the next petal, and it can be a little sneaky to try to see where is the next stitch. If you have been crocheting nice and loose, not too loose though, just right, you will be able to see the next front loop, back loop. It's very obvious right here. Careful you don't skip it. Sometimes it could be hiding a little bit. If you need to bring the petal a little bit to the side, it will be very visible. So there we go. We go into that pattern again. Always in the same stitch. 1 single crochet and a chain. 2 double crochets. And a chain and 1 single crochet. Right on. Petal 2 made. So the idea here is the same now throughout the next 4 petals, and you will get your flower complete. There. Chain 1, 2 double crochet, chain 1, and single crochet. Next petal right there. As I mentioned, keep stretching, keep bringing the petal towards the right side so that you can see that next front loop and back loop. Okay? Okay. All right, so last petal, here we come. 1 single crochet, chain, 2 double crochets, 1 more, chain 1. Now here, instead of finishing up with 1 single crochet, simply finish up with a slip stitch. So yarn, okay, you get that? You put the hook into the spot, yarn over, and instead of finishing it with a single crochet, just slip stitch right away. There we go. Okay, that's necessary for the petal to blend into the next petal. Otherwise, you will always clearly see that was the beginning and the end. You know, and we try to disguise that as much as we can. All right, so now take the scissors and cut generously, you know, I would say 3 to 4 inches for sure. Now, when you bring the loop in, just pay attention to this, because as I mentioned here, it's easily to see this beginning here, because it just is where you started and where you're ending, and I'm trying to disguise that as much as we can. So best way I have found to do that is this way. So here is still the flower facing you. You were working with, you know, this side facing you. Now we are finishing this up and we want to bring this string through the loop. Now instead of bringing it in from the back, okay, I like it to bring the string to the front and then pull through this way. All right, good. That makes the knot, it directs the knot towards the back of the flower. All right, good. There it is. Look at how cute and tiny. Yes, really neat. But remember what I said? It kind of looks a little obvious that this here is the beginning and the end. So it helped to make, to close it up the way I suggested, but it's still quite kind of like separated, right? What I like to do is a stitch between these two here with a needle, all right? So get yourself a needle with a dual point and a big eye. And what you will do here, just listen up. Still you have the right side of the flower facing you, and go ahead and find more or less the next loop here. It could be more or less over here, and just insert your needle right there. It kind of brings together that gap that forms between the last petal and the first. If you think it still looks a little weird, it depends. Each flower is different. Do it one more time. To the front, and then again to the back. And fasten it tight. I mean, don't pull the string too much, just enough. All right, and then turn around and find the bottom of a petal. Bring the needle through a couple of those loops, whatever is the, the easiest to get through. This is a tapestry needle, so it is almost too thick, so I wrestle a little with it. So don't get any needle that's thicker than this, okay? All right, because if you try an embroidery needle, the size 10 thread doesn't really want to go through that eye. So, all right, there we go. So I pulled it through the bottom of the petals a couple times, and then I snip the yarn off, or not, depending where you want to use this flower. You might want to keep this string attached, because this string might be helpful to sew on this flower wherever you want it to be sewed on. Or if you're gluing this flower on something, then it doesn't really matter. You go ahead and tuck in the ends, again at the bottom of a petal. You tuck in the ends, snip off, and you are done. Don't tuck in too tight. There we go. Yeah, she's so tiny. It just keeps escaping my hand. Snip off close. All right, and then kind of, make sure that you bring the petals nice and even, and there we go. Isn't that adorable? Yeah. See? And yeah, I see it. That was the beginning and the end. I still see a gap there, but I don't think anybody else is gonna see it. It's not a big deal. So we tried to disguise it as best as we could, and I think it looks pretty neat. So there we go. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed making this. If this tutorial was easy to follow, if you were successful at making this flower, please let me know. If there's something here that you don't understand, please ask me. And go ahead and please follow me on Instagram, and don't forget to subscribe. I would love to have you here on a regular basis, and see you on my next project. Take care.